How are you? I don't know how to pronounce your name. Nice.
Egg.
Sorry? Ik?
My name is Egg.
Ik. Ah, nice to
Yeah.
meet you, Ik.
Yes. Nice to meet you, Liliana. Is
Yes,
that correct?
yes, Liliana.
Okay.
And why don't you guys share some information about each other? I think this is the first time.
No, maybe I met you in other
Yes.
classes. Yes,
Oh, you
I
guys
remember
did?
your name.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember your name. It's a
nice.
little difficult to me to pronounce in a right way.
Okay.
Nice, nice. That's cool. That's cool. So, yeah, Eka, how was your day today? Or what did you do
Oh.
today?
Uh, I I did some work in my projects, but I had a stomach ache
Uh-huh.
because I ate some Chinese noodle and I think it wasn't clean.
It wasn't clean. It was maybe not fresh, not prepared correctly.
Yes, I would say so because 3 hours after I ate it, I had a stomach ache.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's very sad. How were you able to like? Do you feel better now? Did you take medicine of some kind?
Uh, yes, I'm feeling better now, but
Uh-huh.
I haven't taken any medicine yet.
Uh-huh. That's good. That's good. I think maybe if you just like uh if you rest, I
Let
think maybe you'll feel better. So,
Yeah, I prefer to let my body heal itself.
absolutely right. Sometimes that's the best way to do it, right?
Yes.
Um, hey, Aka, welcome back.
Yes, good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you as well. Has anything cool happened in the last hour?
I ate dinner,
You
delicious
had
dinner.
dinner?
I cooked.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Oh, you made it yourself.
Yes, today I ate spaghetti, spaghetti
Ah,
meat sauce.
Spaghetti.
ah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. He knows how to cook. Aka knows how to cook very well. That's awesome. And last but not least, so Maud, is that how I pronounce your name? Maud?
Yes, I'm Maud
How's
from
it going?
Thailand. I'm doing good.
Good. I'm doing well. Where are you from?
I'm from Thailand.
You're from Thailand as well. So you guys are Eka and Maud are from the same place.
Yes, she's my wife.
Ah.
Oh,
Oh, that's
Your
great.
wife.
Oh.
wow.
Oh, I didn't even notice. You guys,
That's nice.
you guys have the same last name. I didn't even notice that. Oh
Yeah.
man. Okay. Hey, welcome.
He's
It's
my brother.
nice, nice, nice. So fantastic. And we have last but not least, we have Juan. How's it going, Juan?
Hello, hello.
How's it going?
Oh, I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good, good. Where are you from again, Juan? I think I've seen you once before in my class, but I forget.
Yeah, yeah, I be in your class, but when you are in the night, so it's a difficult schedule for me.
Sure. Starting now, I have classes in the morning also.
Okay, maybe I will
Yeah,
with you.
join more of those. Yeah. Are you from Mexico, Juan?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I think now I remember. What part again?
I live in near Mexico City. It's like an hour by car.
An hour by car. Awesome, awesome. El Estado Soberano y Libre de México.
No.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I, I,
Very
I
bad in
love,
that.
I love that whenever Mexicans are describing the formal name of their state, it's
Okay.
always, for example, El Estado Soberano y Libre de Nuevo Laredo, or of
Okay.
like Chihuahua or whatever, right? Um, I just like that, the free and sovereign state of
Now that
whatever.
you mention, I
Yeah.
don't really know the official name of the state.
I think I was on Wikipedia and they were saying El Estado Libre Soberano than
Okay.
something. So it's interesting. And wow, we have people joining left and right. Roger, how's it going?
Hello, teacher. I am good, and you?
I'm doing well, thanks you. Thank you. Where are you from, Roger?
I'm from Brazil.
You're from Brazil. That's what I was thinking Brazil.
Yeah.
Welcome to the class, Roger. We have a lot of folks here today, so let's get started. Actually, I don't want to spend too much time speaking without looking at the grammar first, guys. So thank you everyone for joining. First thing I wanted to mention was that today our topic is going to be looking at. We have two topics we're looking at. So we're looking at the grammar piece of it is the present perfect tense, and we're also going to be learning about the Silk Road, which historically speaking, the Silk Road was it was essentially a route for people who wanted to trade between Europe and Asia and different parts of the world in the ancient world. They would use the Silk Road. We are talking about the recent rendition, the recent version of the Silk Road, which was actually an internet empire. It was an internet business empire, which was recently disbanded by the FBI in the United States. So we're going to be talking about that, and before that, we're going to be talking about the present perfect, right? So before I begin, guys, how easy do you guys think it is to purchase products illegally online? Right? Maybe you guys do online shopping for books and for movies and videos and things like that. How common is it, do you think, for people to order stuff illegally online? Let's start with Aka on the left.
I've never done that, so I'm not sure. But maybe it's easier than ever.
Maybe it's
Because
easier than
internet
ever.
is, because internet is, borderless. So
Yeah,
easy
right.
to access to anybody in anywhere. So I
I
guess
agree,
it's
right?
easier than ever. Yes.
Yeah, because the internet is just like we heard from Akka. The internet is a borderless area, right? You can do trading, you can buy, sell from many parts of the world, right? Without really any sort of regulation. Eka, what do you think about this?
In Thailand, I would say it's quite easy to purchase illegal products because the police cannot control the shops or the vendors on the internet. There are just too many illegal vendors here.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So it's something that is common and something that people do without getting into trouble, right?
Yes, I would say so. Unless your website is so popular and lots of people go to buy the products from your website, then you
Yeah.
might get in trouble.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's, I think, one of the things that actually doomed Silk Road. There were a lot of people using it. It had a lot of members, and that led to a lot of problems. Juan, what about in Mexico? Do you think it's easy for people to purchase things illegally online?
Well, as they say, I never try it, but I think yeah, could be easily.
Yeah.
Nowadays, everything is possible.
Is that's one of the disadvantages of the internet, right?
Yeah. So, and there are many things that we don't know, but it would be illegal market in the internet too.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. What about you, Liliana? Maybe that you have a similar opinion to these guys.
Yes, similar as them. And yes, I think it's possible that people could buy illegal things online.
Hmm.
I've never bought anything online.
Hmm.
But yes, as Albert, as Juan say, it's possible that people like to do it without
Hmm.
any control of the governments.
Hmm.
It could be dangerous because
Yeah.
you don't know what are you buying.
Hmm. Absolutely right. Those are all possibilities. So let's see, Maud, what do you think?
Mm, like X said, it is easy to buy illegal things online in Thailand, and I think spend much time. You can sell it online for a long time.
That person, get my recs in.
Whenever the police can arrest you.
So the police do arrest people, but it's actually for the more popular groups that they get that they can focus on, right? Because if a website is small and not a lot of people are using it, then the police don't really pay attention to it. However, if the website is very popular, then the police might focus on it, right?
Yeah. I think they bought. They sell it a lot before they are arrested.
They said they would sell a lot of stuff before, right? Absolutely. Roger, what's your take on this? Maybe things are different in Brazil.
Yes, I've never seen anyone buying illegal things, but I think here in Brazil it's can be easy because we have a lot of corruption and here is I think easy to do this, to buy things, illegal things on the internet.
Yeah. And so we do see that. I think one of the things that Akka said at the very beginning has kind of been the theme for us for this question, right? Because the internet is borderless, we are able to. It's difficult to control what gets sold and bought online, right? It's one of these areas that, even though the police are trying very hard to figure out to stop illegal activity, it remains a big challenge for us because we're not. It's something that is difficult to monitor, right? Just the nature of the internet allows it to change, and to follow the internet is to follow something that can change in an instant, right? So that's what makes things a little difficult. Any questions, guys, about what we have talked about so far, just in terms of the overall idea of internet marketing, internet police relationship, I guess. Do we have any questions on this so far? Yeah.
What about in the US? Is it hard or easy to buy illegal products on a website in the United States?
I think it's easy. I think if you are creative about the idea, if you, for example, have a network of people that are supplying you with the illegal substances, people on eBay has kind of a bad name in the U.S. for many reasons. You can buy and sell a lot of different things on eBay, right? People have sold. I mean, it is legal to buy guns online in the United States. We can, if we want, buy guns online, right? You have to have a good record. You can't have any, you need information from the police and things like this as well. But it's easy to do those things, right? It's easy to do those things, and it's something that we don't have. We do have legal things in place. However, for the case of drugs and for the case of other illegal things, I don't think people go online. I think people just buy drugs from other people in their neighborhood or in their city or locally, right? But we do have a problem. It's the Silk Road. This company was based in the United States, right? So definitely there was illegal marketing, illegal buying and selling happening, but I don't think average people do with it. I don't think average people use the internet for illegal stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Fantastic. Keep those questions coming. We want to have those questions. Okay, guys. So let us jump then into the grammar part of today's lesson. There are a lot of you guys here, so we're going to try to make sure that we can cover the grammar and then go to the article. So today's grammar, we're talking about the present perfect tense, right? What is the present perfect? The present perfect is when we are when we have three different conditions, right? We have three different situations. The first is when we are talking about an experience that we had in the past, right? So, bless you. We have, so this is the construction of the present perfect, right? We have the subject, then we have the word has or have, depending on the subject, and then we have the verb in the past participle, right? So for example, you can say, I have worked for 3 hours, right? or I have lived in Colombia, you know, whatever the situation may be. So the first condition, this is the construction. The construction doesn't change. There are just 4 scenarios that we use the present perfect in, right? The first condition we use it in is when we are talking about an experience that we've had in the past, right? So, you know, I have lived in New York, for example. That's an experience that I had in the past, right? So the first is to talk about an experience that we had in the past. 4 conditions. First is to talk about an experience we've had in the past. The second condition is when we are talking about new information or a change in information, right? So let's say, you know, let's say that I'm talking about somebody who bought a new house, right? Before maybe he was living in an apartment, now he bought his own house. So I can say he has bought a new house, right? He has bought a new house. So we have the subject he, we have the word has because it's always linked to the subject he, and then the verb in the past participle. So for the verb buy, the past participle is bought, right? So he has bought. So that's the second scenario, right? The first is to talk about an experience we had in the past, and the second is to talk about a new information or a change in, let's say, you know, somebody's life or in somebody's situation, right? Any questions so far on these first 2 types?
No.
No, no, please.
No.
It makes sense for this one? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me know.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lilian. Yeah.
Okay, I have lived in Colombia, for example. What is the expression of time? For 3 years?
Yes, it's 4. It's for 3 years. Yes, I have lived in Colombia for 3 years. I've lived in Colombia for 2 weeks, right? We would use for to indicate the amount of time that we've spent. So I have lived in New York for 6 months.
Or since or since, no? And I have to specify the date.
You can,
since.
yeah, you would use since, right? So if you want to specify a date, I have lived in New York since January 2010, right? So I have lived in New York since January 2010. So 4 is if you're talking about, if you're giving the duration of the time, right? For 6 months, for 3 weeks. Since is used when you're talking about when that chapter started or when that experience started, right? Yeah.
Because the more common expression of time that you use with these
with these kinds of sentences,
okay.
you can use either. You can honestly use either, depending on what you want to say. You know, I guess the first one is easier for somebody who wants to know how long you've lived somewhere, right? If somebody asks you how long have you lived in Bogota, you can say I've lived in Bogota for 12 years, right? But if somebody asks you when did you begin to live in Bogota, then you can say I have lived in Bogota since 1993.
You always use ago with past perfect, no? Sorry. Past perfect, but not for perfect, present perfect.
We can use ago for many instances, actually. So, for example, he lived there from a long time ago. That's just regular past, right? The past tense, the simple past tense is, lived. He lived there. He lived there from a long time ago. He has lived there from a long time ago. Both of them work, right? Or a long time ago, comma, people lived in villages, right? That's another way of thinking about it. So sometimes we do use ago with just a simple past, but it's also very common to use the past perfect with, the present perfect with ago. He has lived there from some time ago, or those are other ways to use that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So we looked at, go ahead.
I have a question. Does it always need to specify the time with present perfect?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to.
It's just an optional, right?
Yeah, it's an optional part of the sentence. So you can say, I have lived in New York. Perfect.
Okay.
Right? You don't have to indicate the time. If you want to, you can. It's just something that you're adding additional. It's an optional part.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So these are the first two types, right? The third type of scenario that we use when we use the present perfect is to talk about something that started in the past, is happening now, and will probably continue into the future, right? Will continue to happen into the future. So this is the third type, right? Let me just write this out. So to talk about something that started in the past, is happening now, and will probably continue to happen in the future, right? So what's an example of this? An example of this maybe is, they have lived in this house for 3 years, right? So it's something that is similar to what we said about an experience in the past, right? It's an experience in the past. They have lived in this house. If you say they have lived in this house for 3 years, you're adding more information. And once again, it's another way of using the present perfect, right? They have been living in the house. That's, we understand that. They are still in the house, and they will probably continue to stay in that house, right? We don't have any information from the sentence that suggests that they would be moving from that house to another place, right? So this is it's almost like a subcategory of what we saw in the first scenario. The first scenario is experience we had in the past. This third one is an experience that started in the past, is continuing to happen now, and will probably continue to happen into the future, right? So it's a special form of that first condition, or that first scenario.
So if I say she's lived, she's lived this town for three years.
Mm-hmm.
That meaning includes she might continue. She's living. I know she will live this town more.
Yes, because just from that sentence, we don't really know. Maybe she will continue to live there. Maybe she is still living there. We can understand that, right? She has lived here for 2 years. Okay, so that means she's still living there, but she started to live there from 2 years ago, right? And we don't have any information that would make us think that she would leave, right? So it's a special subcategory of that first type. Yeah.
Okay, so if I say she lived in this town, that means she doesn't live this town anymore.
Exactly. Okay. So when you use the simple past, she lived in Bogota. She lived in Tokyo for 3 years. Okay, where does she live now? Right? It's not giving you any information about where she lives now. It's just telling you about something in the past, right? Maybe she lived in Tokyo for 2 years in the 1980s. Who knows, right? So that's why we should use the present perfect when we talk about something that is continuing to happen and will happen into the future as well.
For the third scenario, if I said that your examples, if I said he has been living in this house because he lived in the past and continue living now and probably in the future, is that correct?
Yeah, so he has been living in this house, right? I think that's another. It's the present perfect continuous, right? So it's a more specialized form of the present perfect because we are using the past participle and a verb that ends in ing, right? So he has been and then living. So he has been living. That's also perfectly fine, right? That's actually, it's giving you a stronger meaning that this person is continuing to live here, right? Because it has that continuous tense, it has the ing verb. So it's emphasizing that the person has been living here for 2 years. But even without that emphasis, with just the regular present perfect, we can understand that the person is continuing to live there. Yeah, go ahead.
Does it mean that present perfect continuous is stronger than present perfect?
Yes, if you are talking about a continuing action, then it is stronger to use the present perfect continuous than just a normal present perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, he has been living is stronger than he has lived, because we are focusing on the continuous aspect of it. If you don't want to focus on the continuous aspect, you can just use he has lived. right?
Okay.
If you really want to focus on it, then yeah, use the present perfect continuous.
Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And so the first scenario, we can use the past perfect tense.
For the first scenario, we can use, well, you mean the first scenario we have, so something like, okay, if you want to say, like for example, I had lived in Bangkok, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, that would make it past perfect. We can use that, but I guess the focus of the lesson is the present perfect. So that's the only reason why they're emphasizing, or I'm emphasizing, I should say, that we should use the present perfect for things that we've experienced that we've had in the past, right? The past perfect and the present perfect for experiences in the past, I don't really know if there is a difference in meaning, right? If you say I have lived in Bangkok, then that sentence can also be used to talk about that sentence also has that aspect of maybe continuing now and maybe into the present, right? So that's the benefit. That's the benefit of using the present perfect. The present perfect is the first condition and the third condition work together, right? So you are talking about a past experience, and if you indicate a time, then people understand. Okay, this is still happening in the present, right? And will happen in the future. But if you use the past perfect, then we don't have any of that continuous action going on, right? She had lived in Tokyo. Okay, she had. Now she's no longer living there, right? So that's the idea. That's where the difference is. It's a little specific. Things get a little crazy when we are looking at the difference between had lived and have lived, right? Had lived has that idea of it's no longer happening, whereas have lived can have that can have the continuous aspect of it, like we saw with the third scenario, right? So these are specific things. I think you guys understand the grammar, though. Am I incorrect in assuming that?
No.
No.
Okay. Yeah, because I think you guys have reached a level where now the grammar itself is not the problem. It's the application of the grammar is now where you guys are really interested in.
Yes,
Yeah.
we know
Yes,
the rules, but
Yeah.
sorry, I know, for example, in my case, I know the rules, but sometimes I forgot how to use in a normal conversation.
Yeah. Really, it doesn't matter. Really, I'm telling you guys, when we speak and when we are conveying the idea, right? I have lived in New York for 3 years. Okay, this guy's still living in New York, right? I had lived in New York. Okay, that means in the past, this guy once lived in New York, right?
But not anymore.
But not anymore, exactly, right? So almost it has the same meaning as I lived in New York in the past, right? There's really no difference in meaning. There's really no difference between I had lived in New York and I lived in New York in the past, or whatever, something like that. People assume the same idea from both of those sentences, right? So great questions, though, guys. Great questions. Let me just quickly jump to the fourth scenario, because we do have a last one. And the fourth scenario is if we are talking about. Actually, I'm sorry. There were only 3 conditions. I was getting ahead of myself. We only have these 3 conditions for the present perfect. Talk about an experience we've had in the past. Talk about new information or a change, as well as talking about something that started in the past, is happening now, and will probably continue to happen into the future, right? So we are about halfway through the class. I wanted to take some time, ask each one of you guys to give me an example of a sentence with the past, with the present perfect. Any one of these scenarios, you can give me as complicated a sentence you want, as simple a sentence you want. Based on the discussion, I would assume you guys are going for more complicated sentences, because you guys had some really good questions. Let's start with Roger on the far right, and we'll move to the left. So Roger, can you give me a sentence with any sentence in the simple in the present perfect, using that construction that we saw? So the construction was the subject, then the word has or have, and then the past participle.
I have been to Japan.
I have been to Japan, right? So that's something that you're using to talk about an experience that you had in the past, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic, right? I have been to Japan. The past participle of be, the verb to be, is been. So I have been to Japan, right? Let's go to Maud. Maud, can you give me an example?
I haven't seen snow in my life.
I haven't seen snow in my life, right? Never saw
Yeah.
snow. Does it snow anywhere in your country?
No,
It
never.
doesn't, right? Are there any mountains? Are there any mountains in Thailand? Maybe in the north, near China?
Yeah, but no snow in Thailand.
There's no snow in Thailand, unfortunately. Okay. So I haven't seen snow in my life, right? So haven't, what you guys did there was we can use has not and we can use have not, right? Both of those examples. So you can also make it negative, and you can make it has not or have not, depending on the situation, right? So thanks for giving us that example, Maud. Liliana, can you give me an example?
Okay, have you ever lived in a Spanish-spoken country?
Have you ever played or
Lived?
lived? Oh, sorry.
Lived.
Have you ever been to or have you ever lived in a Spanish-speaking country? Right. Fantastic, fantastic. That's a question. That's really good. These are the kinds of questions that I would ask you guys, but you're asking me. I have not lived in a Spanish-speaking country, so it's maybe an experience for the future. Guys, 1 second. I'm just gonna say goodbye to my friends here. Hey guys, have a good one. Okay, see you guys later. I'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Alrighty. There's a lot of folks here. That's why it's a little loud, guys. I apologize. Juan, can you give me an example of a sentence in the present perfect?
Okay, let me try.
Sure.
I have eaten meal for a long time.
I've eaten meals for a long time. Right? Fantastic, right? So can you give me an example of a sentence with a different subject, Juan? You guys have all used I. Let's use he.
Okay.
He
has lived in Mexico City for a long time.
He has lived in Mexico City for a long time, right? Fantastic, fantastic. Eka, let's go to you.
Okay.
Not Aka. I'm sorry, Eka Pop.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Aka. I know. You guys have similar names.
Maybe call me Ken would be better.
I'll call you Ken. Yeah, that's a lot better. Thank you. Eka, go ahead.
Okay. Four students have given the example in present perfect in this class.
Fantastic. 4 students have given the example of present perfect in this class, right? Great job. What is the past participle in the sentence that you used, Eka?
Given.
Given, right? Fantastic. Yeah. Given. Given is a past participle of the verb give, right? And now, Ken, last but not least.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I've never seen a desert.
You've never seen a desert?
Yes.
I was born in a desert.
Wow. I'd like to see there.
Yeah, it's nice. Some parts are really nice. Other parts are just very dry, very boring. But okay, I have never seen a desert, right? Fantastic. So any questions, guys, about the present perfect as it exists in English? I know there are so many exceptions and so many ways that we can even use the present or the past, and then the relationship between the past perfect and the present perfect is also kind of crazy. But just looking at the grammar from this lesson and the examples that we looked at, do we have any questions or anything you guys wanted to ask about?
Question about the answer. I said I've never seen a desert, so you said how can I reply? No or yes? Yes, I never seen the desert, or no, I've never seen the desert.
Fantastic. Both of those are correct. Yes, I have. Yes, I have never seen. Or okay, have you ever seen the desert? No, I have never seen the desert. Is the best way to answer.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I have never seen the desert or a desert. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
From my understanding, in American English, yes means yes and no means no.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you're right.
I always confuse these things. Yeah.
It is. That's a very good question. It's sometimes even the most basic things in English are confusing, right? Yes, yes means yes, and no means no. Exactly. Exactly. But people do say this is something very common. I'll just share with you guys very briefly. You know, something that is so common that people don't realize that they're saying incorrectly is people ask each other, do you mind if I ask whatever, like, do you mind if I ask you for some help, right? If you mind, that means you take offense or you don't want to mind something, right? Like if somebody asks you, like people say, don't mind, right? I have a question for you. Please don't mind that I'm asking you this question. So if you are offering to help somebody and they ask you, somebody asks you, do you mind if I ask you for help? The answer, if you want to help them, should be no, I don't mind. But in English, all the time we hear people say, yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
So you are saying yes, you mind, but you are still helping them. Right? So that's not correct from a pure English perspective. If somebody asks you, do you mind giving me some money? Whatever, a guy on the street, right? Let's say, or your friend, do you mind giving me $2? Yeah, go ahead. Here's $2, right? Your response of yes is not correct, because if you did mind, then you would say yes, I mind. I'm sorry, I'm not giving you any money. Right? To mind means to refuse, or to mind means to not do what the other person is asking you to do, right? To not mind is to agree with that person or help them or give them what they want, right? So never mind, I don't want to confuse you guys, but that is something that we see in English a lot, that yes is yes and no is no. Sometimes we see differences.
It's like a tag question, no? You say, are you, tag question, you, for example, are you happy, aren't you? Yes. I remember that you in English you answer with the opposite.
Yeah, like sometimes, like if somebody asks me, like, "Are you happy?" No, 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 I'm fine.
Yes.
Right? You're saying no, 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 which means oh, okay, you're not happy. But no, then you follow up by saying no, 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 I'm fine, I'm okay, right? So sometimes we don't say yes when we mean to say yes, right? If you are happy, then you should say yes, I'm happy. But other people say no, 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 I'm okay, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just conversation, guys. Honestly, each person is different. Sometimes when we have conversations, and I guess the way we talk, some people have different ways that they talk. Yeah. So I did not mean to confuse any of you guys. I'm sorry if I did, but okay. Let's jump into the article then, guys. We have about 20 minutes, so let's see if we can jump into this article and learn a little bit about Silk Road, right? This company, this online company that was selling everything, all illegal items that you can imagine. They were actually selling on this website, and it was recently discovered and destroyed by the FBI. So I always like reading about crime stories and criminals and FBI stuff. So here we have. So I shared the link with you guys as well, so you guys can go ahead and open it up. Let me know if you guys have any troubles opening up the link. Do you guys all have it open?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Roger, you got it open too?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes.
Muito obrigado, muito obrigado. FBI shuts down Silk Road, right? So this is the company, Silk Road, and the FBI shuts it down. Ross Ulbricht, this is the guy, right? Ross Ulbricht was the founder of this company, Silk Road, is charged with narcotics trafficking conspiracy, right? So this is like, oh my God, FBI, like this is the seal. I don't know why they have this picture. It's kind of funny. Okay. The FBI has shut down Silk Road, a hard-to-find e-commerce site on the deep web. Okay, so this is the deep internet. It's not the regular. It's not the normal internet. It's the deep internet that allegedly trafficked in drugs, guns, computer hacking, money laundering, and even murder for hire. The site has operated for 2.5 years as a sprawling black market bazaar. According to the New York Times, U.S. attorneys arrested the website's owner, Ross William, also known as Dread Pirate Roberts, Ulbricht, for generating more than $1.2 billion in sales and $80 million in commissions through distributing hundreds of kilograms of illegal drugs and other illicit goods and services to more than 100,000 online buyers. Wow, $1.2 billion in sales, right? So is this a small company on the internet or is this a huge company on the internet?
Huge.
Yeah, right? So many buyers, 100,000 buyers, right? So TechCrunch, this is a website that does a lot of news for, like technical stuff and computers and things like that. TechCrunch calls Silk Road the Amazon of illegal things. According to the FBI, Ulbricht, 29, has a physics degree from the University of Texas and attended engineering graduate school at the University of Pennsylvania. This is a very good school. I mean, it's like one of the best schools in the U.S. He apparently lived in San Francisco while running Silk Road. He's charged with narcotics trafficking conspiracy, computer hacking conspiracy, and money laundering conspiracy, and was, according to the Justice Department, arrested in San Francisco. From the time it opened in September 2011, Silk Road operated on an internet network known as Tor, which conceals the IP addresses of its users' computers. In documents filed in the U.S. District Court in New York, FBI agent Christopher Tarbell described 13,000 drug listings on Silk Road just last month. 13,000 drug listings, including cannabis, which is marijuana, ecstasy, prescriptions, psychedelics, and stimulants, as well as others for firearms, anonymous bank accounts, and hitmen. What's a hitman? Do you guys know what a hitman is?
Yeah, it's a killer.
Exactly. It's an assassin, right? So this guy, or this website, also had hitmen saying, hey, Eka, give me $100,000 and I'll kill someone, So they even had these people on this website, right? One ad declared, high quality number 4 heroin, all rock, right? This is the kind of stuff that they advertise on the website. Users paid with bitcoins, which is an anonymous form of electronic currency widely used online. The FBI reportedly seized $3.6 million in bitcoins. This is like online money, I guess, after agents made 100 drug purchases through the website. So the FBI agents were purchasing drugs from this website also. In the last paragraph, the FBI also accuses Ulbricht, the guy who made this website, of attempting to solicit a murder-for-hire contract against a Silk Road user who intended to extort him. Right? Friendly Chemist allegedly threatened to publish the site's usernames and addresses unless Ulbricht paid $500,000. So this is what happened. The founder of this website, Ulbricht, right, this guy, there was someone on Silk Road named Friendly Chemist. Okay, this is what we know about his name. Friendly Chemist told Ulbricht, hey, if you don't give me $500,000, I will publish the names of everybody who uses your website, right? So obviously Ulbricht was very angry, and he wanted to, he wrote to another person named Red and White, right? And he told him, Friendly Chemist is a liability, and I wouldn't mind if he was executed. So this Friendly Chemist person lives in Canada and has a wife and 3 kids. So Ulbricht said, Ulbricht wanted to have to kill this guy, Friendly Chemist, using somebody on his website, because you have all these hitmen on his website, right? So, and then last but not least, Silk Road had almost 1 million registered users as of July 2013, right? So finally, this massive online empire has been shut down, right? What do you guys think about this article? What's your initial reaction to this article? Let's start with Ken on the left, and we'll go across the class, if you guys don't mind.
Scary, and at the same time, user might be tricked by the site owner or by this site. Because it's not reliable. Even if they say they prepared hitman or something, and after how the user can confirm.
Maybe you get a tracking number.
I mean, kind of. Anyway, it's dangerous.
It is dangerous, right?
For
There seems to
both
be
users and other people.
for both the seller and the buyer, right?
Yeah.
For both the seller and the buyer, exactly. Eka, what do you think about this? I mean, Silk Road, 100 or 1 million users, $1.2 billion in sales. What's your reaction to this?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of money, but if compared to the business like this in the real world, it's just so small. I think in the real world, illegal drug and hiring somebody to kill someone is has more revenue than this website.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to be illegally, if you want to work in illegal business, it's better to just do it normally, right?
Yes, that's right.
No, not online. We're not encouraging any of you guys to become a drug lord, okay? Don't become a drug lord. It's not good. But if you want to, then I guess on the online stuff is not the best way to do it, right? Juan, what do you think about this?
Oh, well, yes. Sadly, but it's true that these things happen.
Yeah, and what about the show Breaking Bad that you mentioned in the chat?
Oh yeah, because I remember the series when the people at chemistry make some drugs.
Yeah.
It's a complete mafia, and there is they have to use new forms to sell.
Exactly right. I've heard a lot of good things about this show as well, Eka. I haven't seen it, but it's about a chemistry teacher, right, Juan, who I think he's a very gifted teacher, but because he needs money, I think, for his son's cancer or something like that. I don't remember the reason, but his son has cancer, so he needs to pay for his son's medicine, and he's a chemistry teacher, so he can make drugs. So he makes drugs to help his son.
Yeah,
And
well,
he sells drugs. Yeah.
he was his excuse, but I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen the show, so but that's the idea behind the show. I know. I really want to. I should. I think I'm gonna watch it today, actually, after this class. Yeah. Thanks for the suggestion, guys. What about you, Liliana? What's your take on this?
Yes, I think it's scary to know that these websites could exist online, and people can buy this kind of illegal things like drugs and other things. And but I think it's because like the founder of this website is guilty, as well as the people who buy things, illegal things in this website. Because if you know that it's illegal, why you do that? So if this webline exists, it's thanks to the buyers.
Yeah. If there's no money, then it would die, right?
Yeah. So I have a question. I don't understand the last paragraph about some man in Canada.
Yeah. So this last paragraph is a little confusing the way they wrote it here. All it is saying is that some guy in Canada named Friendly Chemist, okay, that was his online name. His name is Friendly Chemist. He told the Silk Road founder, if you don't give me $500,000, I will publish all of the people who are on your website who use this illegal service, right? So the founder, this guy named Ulbricht said, I need to kill this guy. And he talked to another person named Red and White to kill Friendly Chemist. Right. So that's something that the FBI is also investigating, because this is even more serious, right? I mean, drugs are drugs, but he is actually trying to kill other people using his online service. You know.
Yes, it's a mafia, like one said.
Yeah, it's an online mafia, right?
So be careful, guys.
I know. I'm not Red and White, guys. I'm just Farhan. I'm not Red and White. I'm not Friendly Chemist. So, what about, okay, Maud, what about you? What do you think about this?
It's good to shut it down. Good job.
Good job that they shut it down. Yeah.
I think it's very bad that someone creates the bad website online, and there are many people who are very bad to 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 buy some services that's not good, like to kill someone else. It's not good. Yeah.
That is crazy. I'm very surprised that they had that service, you know. I mean, that's just like wrong on so many levels, right? It's super dangerous. And Roger, what do you think about all of this?
I think it's very dangerous because we can buy drugs and serial killers.
Yeah, right.
You pay for them, and it isn't good. I think I've never accessed the deep web, but I I just listened about it, and I think it isn't good. I It's dangerous, and I'm scared.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Now, Roger, I'm going to ask you another question. What would you do? Let's say you were a user of this website, the Silk Road. Okay. Let's say you were one of the million registered members, right? And you are reading this article with me today, and you find out that the FBI has arrested the leader and has closed down this website, right? What would be your reaction? Would you be scared that the FBI is also coming for you, or maybe you did now that you might go to jail or something like that?
No, I don't know. Mm,
Would you
well,
think, for example, I mean, if I was the user on this website, if I was using Silk Road and I open the newspaper and I find out that this website is now have been closed down, I would be scared that maybe I was part of this illegal company, that the FBI will also arrest me, maybe. Who knows, right? Um,
yeah,
I don't know. I think that's a good question, right? Because I think it goes back to what we heard from Liliana, that the guilt is shared among the people who use this website as well as the founder who established the website, right? I think so. I mean, what do you guys think about that? Let's imagine yourself in the shoes of a user of this website. Um, so, Roger, I think you said you didn't know, but do you have any? Maybe you have an idea that you can share with us, or something
yes,
else about this? Yeah.
I don't have an idea.
Don't have an idea. Okay, no worries, man. No worries. Maud, what would you do? Let's say you have a large drug company in Thailand, right? Let's say you're a drug lord, right? And you supplied all these drugs to ECA. You supplied all these drugs to people everywhere,
Oh,
including Silk Road. What would you do now?
oh,
My God.
it,
I think let's go to Mexico because Juan is giving us political asylum. Exactly. I don't think Mexico gives political asylum to drug lords. Honestly.
Yeah. You don't know what kind of things happen in Mexico.
Oh man.
mm,
Doesn't Mexico? Yeah.
Really, Juan? It's really.
Yeah. It's one of the biggest dangerous countries, I think, because
Yikes.
everything can happen here.
You just need the money, right? You just need the money.
Yeah. Everything is about money.
That's so bad.
I think I
I don't
will
know the
try.
word asile.
I will try use the deep web.
That's funny. Honestly, okay. So let's think about this in a more creative way. We don't have a lot of time, but okay. So let's ask a different question. Maybe you guys are uncomfortable with the idea of imagining yourselves as drug lords, right? So how about this? Let's ask this question then. What do you think made this website so popular? Was it because it was online? Was it because you could pay with?
Because people can buy drugs without any problem, without government control. So they continue doing buying these illegal things, and they are they never thought that maybe some people can some people know about this illegal business online, and yes, because they are free to buy any quantity of drugs there.
Yeah, but I mean, wouldn't you think they would feel scared that they could get caught? I mean, everything on you can track everything on the internet, right?
Yes, I think if these people buy things and know that maybe the police shut down this website,
Yeah.
that maybe they will publish their names.
All the users, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's kind of scary. I mean, Maud, what do you think? Do you agree with Liliana that the appeal for this website comes from the fact that it's online, it's easy to use, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think when I want to buy the illegal drugs, and I think it is more safe to buy online more than to find some places that is more risky.
It is, right? It is. I think I definitely agree. And Juan, I also just quickly responded to yours. So you think because it's an anonymous system, right? What do you mean by that? That it's an anonymous system? What does that mean?
For example, if I wanna buy some drugs, it's easily to ask for them in the web than go asking someone you sell drugs. So it's less embarrassing. Maybe safer.
Yeah, maybe it's safer, right? But even then, I don't really understand the second part of this process would be shipping the drugs to you, right? How can they ship the drugs? Like, can they use like DHL to just ship you drugs, like cocaine and stuff?
Have his home delivery has like UPS. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think UPS. Don't they search bags and stuff? Like, you can't just like.
No.
I don't know. They don't.
Drug delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For example, they can pay you. You have to deliver dispatches in certain direction, and you earn $100 for
Oh
sales.
wow. So maybe they have their own system within UPS, or they have maybe corrupt drivers and corrupt people who can do the delivery, right?
As I said, everything is possible now.
Wow, that is crazy. And what about Eka? What about you? Do you think maybe the system is that because of the anonymity? So this is the right word, actually. Juan, I forgot to mention it in the last post. Anonymity. Anonymity. That's what we say for something is anonymous. It is anonymity. It allows for anonymity, right? Anonymity. Anonymity on the internet. Yeah, we can see that a lot. So, sorry, Eka, back to you. Is it something that, do you think this anonymity helps the idea of making this website so popular?
Yes, I think it was popular because everybody on the website is anonymous, and they might think that they would get away with it.
Maybe they will. I don't know if the FBI will look at every one of these 1 million users or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But
And in my opinion, it would be hard to track those users on the website, since they also use Tor, which is a secure protocol to connect to the internet.
Yeah, they use this shadow IP address system, right?
Yeah.
Or there's no way to track the IP addresses that they use. Or maybe there are ways to track, but it's not difficult. Roger, I wanted to ask you real quick. I saw that you posted an image for us talking about the deep web. Did you want to explain that a little bit?
Oh, we can see just the better part of web. Deep web is It's deep web we can access. Yeah, oh, we can access, but I think it's very difficult to access because Tor is a web browser. Okay, I have my computer, but I've never used to access deep web. But the and this is
So it's the part of the internet that maybe the hackers know about, right? Like the hackers, the kind of the shadow business people, shadow hackers. I don't know. I think of the deep web almost as a dark web, right? Like it's the behind the scenes version of the internet, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of scary stuff, you know. Juan, what do you mean by Big Brother? Who is my Big Brother here?
Big brother, the guys who is watching you all the time.
Yeah, yeah, right. Big Brother, we think of Big Brother as a way to describe the government, right? A way to describe FBI or whatever, all of these different groups who
For
are.
example, I didn't know that you can be, or the government can be where you are with your cell phone.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, government knows anything. The government can find everything. The government knows we're talking right now.
They spy you all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, the police is knocking at the door.
Yeah, maybe, right? Welcome, bienvenido. It's you know, it's
okay, guys, I gotta go. Thank you very
all
much.
right. Absolutely, Juan. Take care. Ken, did you have any questions at the end?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a question. All rock. What is all rock mean on this context?
Rock is another way to say drugs, right? So, for example, like heroin comes in maybe rock, right? Like they come in small rocks that you can smoke, I guess, or burn. Or I've never done heroin, so I don't know. But I think this is the description of the drug itself. So all
I
rock.
see.
For example, they say in Spanish, la nieve para la cocaína, right? They say like cocaine is like snow,
yes,
right?
Like the color of snow.
Yeah, the color of snow. So sometimes, and you know, in English we say for marijuana we call it weed, right? So there are many different ways to describe drugs, not using words that are different from using street words, you know, using slang.
Weed.
And I think rock is the
Marijuana. Weed. Can you type it? Weed.
Weed, yeah, W-E-E-D. Yeah. Give me 1 second, guys. I have to charge. Brother, is there a charger? I'm about to die. I'm like 3 minutes down. All right. All right. Are any of those unhookable? I'm just my laptop is probably gonna die. So anyway, we're pretty close to ending class, guys. Did you guys have any other questions about this topic?
No.
Everything makes sense.
Yes.
Makes
sense.
Thank you for the class.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are welcome. Next time, I promise we'll talk about something besides drugs. But drugs are interesting. I like talking about criminals and drugs and stuff. Yeah. So anyway, guys, have a great rest of the class. My next class is later tonight, so you guys can check the schedule. Every day now, I have 2 classes in the 2 classes in the morning, 2 classes in the evening. And starting next week, I'll have 3 classes on Wednesday morning, actually. So. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Alrighty, guys. Yeah. Alrighty, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Absolutely.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Good, and you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you. Where are you from, Roger?
I'm from Brazil.
You're from Brazil. That's right. I was thinking Brazil.
Yeah.
Welcome to the class, Roger. We have a lot of folks here today, so let's get started. Actually, I don't want to spend too much time speaking without looking at the grammar first, guys. So thank you everyone for joining. First thing I wanted to mention was that today our topic is going to be looking at. We have 2 topics we're looking at. So we're looking at the grammar piece of it is the present perfect tense, and we're also going to be learning about the Silk Road, which historically speaking, the Silk Road was it was essentially a route for people who wanted to trade between Europe and Asia and different parts of the world in the ancient world. They would use the Silk Road. We are talking about the recent rendition, the recent version of the Silk Road, which was actually an internet empire. It was an internet business empire which was recently disbanded by the FBI in the United States. So we're going to be talking about.
How are you? I don't know how to pronounce your name.
Ek.
Sorry? Ik?
My name is Ek.
Ik. Nice to meet you, Ik.
Yes, nice to meet you, Liliana. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes, Liliana.
Okay.
And why don't you guys share some information about each other? I think this is the first time.
No, maybe I met you in other
Yes.
classes. Yes.
Oh, you guys did?
Okay.
Yes, I remember you.
Nice.
It's a little difficult to me to pronounce in a right way.
Okay.
Nice, nice. That's cool. That's cool. So, yeah, you know, Eka, how was your day today? What did you do today?
I did some work in my projects, but I had a stomach ache because I ate some Chinese noodle, and I think it wasn't clean.
It wasn't clean. It was maybe awesome. And last but not least, so Maud, is that how I pronounce your name? Maud?
Yes, I'm Maud.
How's it going?
Thailand. I'm doing good.
Good. I'm doing well. Where are you from?
I'm from Thailand.
You're from Thailand as well. So you guys are Eka and Maud are from the same place.
Yes, she's my wife.
Oh, that's great. Oh, I didn't even notice. You guys are the same last name. I didn't even notice that. Oh man. Okay. Hey, welcome.
He's my brother.
Nice, nice, nice. So, fantastic. And we have, last but not least, we have Juan. How's it going, Juan?
Hello, hello.
How's it going?
Oh, I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good, good. Where are you from again, Juan? I think I've seen you once before in my class, but I forget.
Yeah, I be in your class, but when you are in the night, so it's a difficult schedule for me.
Sure. Starting now, I have classes in the morning also. Not fresh, not prepared correctly.
Yes, I would say so because 3 hours after I ate it, I had a stomach ache.
Mm-hmm. That's very sad. How were you able to, like, do you feel better now? Did you take medicine of some kind?
Yes, I'm feeling better now, but I haven't taken any medicine yet.
That's good. That's good. I think maybe if you just like, if you rest, I think maybe you'll feel better. So.
Yeah, I prefer to let my body heal itself.
Absolutely, right. Sometimes that's the best. That's the best way to do it, right?
Yes.
Hey, Aka, welcome back.
Yes, good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you as well. Has anything cool happened in the last hour?
I ate dinner. Delicious
dinner.
I cooked.
Awesome, awesome. Oh, you made it yourself?
Yes. Today I ate spaghetti. Spaghetti meat sauce.
Spaghetti.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. He knows how to cook. Aka knows how to cook very well. That's all.
Okay. Maybe
you join more of those. Yeah. Did you? Are you from Mexico, Juan?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I think now I remember. What part again?
I live in near Mexico City. It's like an hour by car.
An hour by car. Awesome, awesome. El Estado Soberano y Libre de México. Maybe. I don't know. I love that whenever Mexicans are describing the formal name of their state, it's always, for example, El Estado Soberano y Libre de Nuevo Laredo, or of like Chihuahua or whatever, right? I just like that, the free and sovereign state of.
Now the question, I don't really know the official name of the state.
I think I was on Wikipedia and they were saying El Estado Libre Soberano de than something. So it's interesting. And wow, we have people joining left and right. Roger, how's it going?
Hello, teacher. I am